Namaste, welcome everyone. Okay, I've got a fun, pretty challenging class for you today, but I really think you're going to enjoy it. This is a full body vinyasa flow, and I would say it's best for intermediate to advanced students because I'm going to give you the option of coming into an arm balance, which is Ikapada 2, as well as an inversion, which will be headstand. You don't need to do those poses. You can leave them out. I'll give you options, but it's a pretty strong flow, but I'll prepare you as best as I can so that you have your best shot at those poses. We are working on hips, we're working on core, we're getting into our arms, really a well-rounded practice, and there are no props required. So let's start with some stretches lying down on our backs so you can recline all the way down. Go ahead and bring your right knee in towards your belly, straighten your left leg. And keep some activation through that left leg so you're really reaching and pushing down into your heel at the same time, trying to draw your right knee towards your right shoulder. Find length in your low back as you take some slow, steady breaths here. And let's take a twist. Your right knee will cross over your body towards the left. You can use your left hand to help press it down. Right arm extends out to the side. Push your right shoulder blade into the floor. And if you'd like to take this further, you're going to straighten your right leg. Maybe slide your left hand down towards your calf or towards your ankle or your toes, whatever you're able to hold on to here. So a big spinal twist, getting deep into our hamstrings. And for the last few breaths, if you'd like to add a thigh stretch for the full variation of cat pulling its tail, you can bend into your left knee and grab a hold of that foot with your right hand. So you're still trying to press your right shoulder down, collarbones facing up. And we're gonna do the same exact pose at the end of class. I really want you to see what it feels like now versus hopefully what it'll feel like at the end of class. Hopefully a little bit easier, but still just a wonderful way to get into the hips, adding a twist. Take one more full deep breath in here. And then keep the knees bent. You're just going to release. We'll take a reclined cow face pose or reclined shoelace pose. So your right thigh is stacked over the left one, and you can hold onto your feet or whatever is accessible to you here, reaching your feet away from one another and pulling down. Try to soften head and shoulders. And uncross, release, Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. Stretching through the inner thighs this time. Really taking the time to warm up through our hips. And we'll set ourselves up for a variation of bridge pose. So bring your feet flat to the floor, hip width distance apart, pretty close in towards your seat. Really feel your shoulders roll down and away from your ears. We're gonna push to lift up, and then you can shrug your shoulders underneath you to clasp your palms. Push into your arms in order to lift your hips up. And now squeeze your inner thighs towards one another and go ahead and lift your heels up high. So only on the balls of the feet, squeeze into the glutes, push and lift up a little bit higher. Keep hugging everything in, soften through your jaw. Now bring your heels back down to the mat, stay lifted. You're going to lean onto your right thigh, right leg, and extend your left leg up towards the sky. See if you can point and reach through your toes. And bend into that left knee. We're gonna go switch sides, so transition, body weight over to your left leg. and reach up through the right leg, all the way pointed through your toes. Squeeze and lift up a little higher. And bend that right knee, bring it down. Release the clasp of your palms and roll down inch by inch. Now from here, keep your feet not quite touching, so about hip width distance apart, and just let your knees and thighs drop down. So a variation of reclined butterfly pose. With your palms facing up towards the sky, you're gonna push into your feet, squeeze your glutes, and see if you can lift your hips high off the floor while still opening the knees up wide. So a variation or combination of your bridge pose and your reclined butterfly pose, just working the thighs a little bit differently. Squeeze and press the hips up. Try to also widen your knees a little more. And let's release all the way down. Bring your left knee in towards your belly. Right leg straightens out. Push into your right heel as you draw your left knee towards your left shoulder. Breathing in and out through your nose. Relax your shoulders. And we'll carry it over into our twist. So left knee crosses over your body towards the right. Reach your left arm out to the side. And you might choose to stay here, or you can go deeper into the hamstrings by straightening that left leg and sliding your right hand down. And take a few breaths here. And if you had done this on the first side, you can come into the full variation of cat pulling its tail, bend into your right knee, grab a hold of the foot with your left hand, and think of really pressing your left shoulder down. So trying to stretch into our right quads, while also, of course, getting into the hamstrings on that left leg. Not here for too long. Big breath in. And we'll roll onto our backs. Keep the knees bent with your left thigh crossing over the right one. Reclined shoelace pose. Variation of Gomukhasana. Feet are reaching away from one another while you pull the thighs and pull the feet down. Release, Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. And maybe the second time around you can stay exactly as you are. You might want to straighten both legs, getting deeper into it. Whichever option is the best for you right now. And Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose, feet flat to the floor, hip width distance apart. Shrug your shoulders down. We're going to lift our hips, clasp your hands again, but the more unusual way, so you have your other thumb on top. This really does help to give you a little bit more expansion through your chest. Keep hugging your thighs together and go ahead and lift your heels high off the floor. So this extra lift of coming onto the balls of the feet should help you lengthen out of your lower back. So minimizing that lumbar curve, still squeezing in through your inner thighs, really powering up in this pose. And go ahead and drop your heels down to the mat, lean on your left thigh, and stretch and reach your right leg up to the sky. We've been here before. Reach through the toes. Second side, right leg carefully plants down. Left leg stretches up. Feel the glutes start to power up. Releasing down. And you can come all the way down. This time we're just going to let our knees and our thighs flop open. Push into the feet, so your feet should be flexed. Relax your shoulders and your arms and lift the pelvis off the floor. So adding on from this one with your feet flexed, you're going to inhale, bring the knees together, and then exhale, open them up in that butterfly pose, always keeping the hips high off the floor. So inhale and exhale, open. Big breath in, soles of the feet are flat to the floor, lift up higher. Maintain that height as you open your hips. 2 more like this. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Come all the way down. Release. Pull your knees in towards your belly. Curl head and shoulders up. Tiny little ball here. And let's come up to take a seat. Just crossing at your ankles. We're just going to stretch our neck a little bit here. Actually, I'll turn to face towards you. You can just drop your right ear towards your right shoulder, maybe using your right hand to lengthen it away from that left shoulder. Keep it pressing down. Feel a nice lift through your spine, really just isolating your neck. And let's switch sides, left ear to your left shoulder, lengthen away from that right shoulder. And I like to keep the chin roughly parallel to the floor, but you might be more comfortable tucking down or looking up a little. And let's lift all the way up into a little twist, right hand to your left knee. Left fingertips behind you, lift and lengthen up even more, no rounding. Draw the belly button in, release to the other side, left hand to your right knee. So both hip bones are still facing forward. You're really twisting from the mid to upper back. Coming all the way back through to center. Let's find a variation of tabletop pose. Normally we have our hands underneath our shoulders, but for this one, I'll ask that you bring your palms forward slightly, so the distance you would have in your downward facing dog. And we're gonna do something, a little sequence. Keep your toes curled underneath you, it'll be a little bit easier. So as you inhale, drop your belly, lift the gaze, curl tailbone up. Exhale, round and contract, chin to chest. 2 more like this. Inhale through your cat and cow. Really important that you're pushing down into your fingertips. Exhale, inhale, and exhale. Now go ahead and press back into your downward facing dog. Get a big stretch here. Inhale, right leg reaches up towards the sky. Try to keep it straight and square as much as possible. Exhale, tap the right toes down. Inhale, lift that leg up as high as it can go and tap it down. Last one, inhale, squeeze and lift. Exhale to lower. And now go ahead and reach your right leg up. Inhale, exhale, come forward to plank, tap your knee to your nose. Inhale, 3-legged dog, reach it up. Exhale, shoulders over your wrists, squeeze it in. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Plank pose, reach the crown of your head forward and drop your knees down to the mat. Still staying on that right side. As you inhale, kick your right heel up as you lift your gaze, open your chest. Exhale, round and contract, pull it in. 2 more like this. Inhale. And exhale. Breathe in. And contract. Step that foot forward in between your palms to the top of the mat. Knees over your ankle. Push into the feet as you find your low lunge. Grab a hold of your left wrist with your right hand, lengthen up, and then tilt as you crescent over towards the right side of your mat. So really deep side bend here. Coming all the way back to center, palms circle down to the floor, tuck the back toes under, lift your back knee off the mat, easy twist, right arm stretches up to the sky. And right palm circles back down, plank pose. Inhale, hold here. Lower all the way to your belly, chaturanga, all the way down, point your toes, bhujangasana, cobra pose. Inhale. Exhale to lower, tabletop, that same wider variation of table. So the hands are a little bit further than your shoulders. Spread your fingertips wide. We're repeating that sequence on the other side. So inhale, just cat and cow, 3 rounds with your breath. Just getting into all those areas of your spine, into your shoulders. One more, inhale, dropping your belly. Exhale, round and contract, downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press into your heels. Inhale, left leg stretches up to the sky and tap the toes down. Inhale, stretch and lift. Exhale, tap it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale to lower. Now we add, inhale, lift it up. Exhale, tap your knee to your nose, come forward into your plank pose. Inhale, 3-legged dog, 2 more like this. Exhale, squeeze it in. Reach it back, push into your fingertips. Exhale, squeeze it in. Plank pose, inhale. And bring your knees down to the mat, keeping that wide stance. Cat and cow with the left leg. Inhale, left heel kicks up, lift your gaze. Squeeze it in, exhale. 2 more just like this. Last one, kick it up. Squeeze it in and step it through. Low lunge, kundinyasana. Lengthen tailbone down, draw your belly in, adding our side bend. Grab a hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Lengthen up and then crescent over. So a really big stretch from your right shoulder down the side of your waist and deep into that right psoas and hip. Coming all the way back up, let's find our easy twist. Hands down, lift the back knee off the floor. Left hand stretches up to the sky. Taking your flow, plank, chaturanga, either cobra or your upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Let's lift our hips up and back here. So adding a little bit on from here, really reach it out, press into your hips, and then go ahead and bring your knees down onto the floor. You're gonna pull your right knee to your chest, reach that right leg up, bring that knee back in, and the second time you do it, lift up, 3-legged dog, knee to chest, stay in down dog, re-extend, 3-legged dog. Now come forward into plank, knee to nose, 3-legged dog, stretch it up. Bring your left knee down to the floor, we're almost there. Knee to chest, and extended back. Knee to chest, 3-legged dog. Knee to chest, in down dog, 3-legged dog. Come forward to plank pose, 3-legged dog. Left knee to the mat, bring your knee to your chest, and extended back. Knee to chest, 3-legged dog. Knee to chest, in down dog, 3-legged dog. Come forward to plank pose, 3-legged dog. Last round, left knee to the mat, bring your knee to your chest. Squeeze your glutes, lift it up. Bring that knee in, 3-legged dog, lift the hips. Just pull that thigh in, reach it back. Tap the knee to the nose, come forward to plank. 3-legged dog, downward facing dog. Great job. Take a moment to stretch it out. And we'll do the other side. Knees come down to the floor. So keeping it relatively flat back here. Left knee into your chest, squeeze and lift it up. Inhale to the chest, lift all the way up, downward dog. Pull that knee in, lift it back up. Come forward into that plank pose. Stretch it back, 3-legged dog. Right knee comes down to the floor, knee to chest. Stretch it back. Knee to the chest. This time lift your hips up and back. Knee to your chest, same thing, lift it up. Now come forward to plank, knee to nose. 3-legged dog. Right knee comes down to the floor, knee to chest. Stretch it back. Knee to the chest. This time lift your hips up and back. Knee to your chest, same thing, lift it up. Now come forward to plank, knee to nose. 3-legged dog. Last round, bring the right knee down, left knee pulls in. Squeeze into the glutes. Pull it in, 3-legged dog. Knee to your chest, 3-legged dog. Plank pose, hug it in. 3-legged dog, downward facing dog. Great job. Press out long, in through your arms. And let's walk our feet forward to the top of the mat. Bend your knees generously, maybe hold on to your shoulders, your elbows, your upper arms, just so you have a little bit more traction. And let your head dangle, feel the effects of those first flows. Starting to build up some heat and really get into our hips. Relax your hands down to the floor, bend your knees, push into your heels to come all the way up to stand, Tadasana, mountain pose. Palms shining forward. With your feet hip-width distance apart, standing at the top of the mat, you're going to lean on your right leg, hands at your heart, and just float that left leg up. Standing pigeon pose. You're going to cross your left ankle over the top of your right knee and start to bend into that supporting leg. So my hips are going back while my chest is extending forward. See if you can get your chest parallel to the floor. We're not going all the way down. Working a little bit more on balance and on opening up that left hip. Carefully bring your chest back up, and we're gonna find our high lunge. Step that left foot all the way back. Feet should be about hip-width distance apart or so. Arms reaching up, palms facing in towards one another. The same side bend we did in our low lunge. Grab a hold of your left wrist, lift up, and then crescent over to the side. Inhale all the way back up through to center. Hands at your heart. We're gonna once more balance on our right leg. You're gonna feel it burn pretty soon. Bring that left knee up, eagle pose. Cross your left thigh over the right one. Maybe looping the toes. If you wanna bind with the arms, left arm goes under once or twice. Really bend into both knees here. Keep your gaze steady. We are going back in our high lunge. Release the arms first and then unwrap and step that left foot as far back as you can get it. Let's tilt forward, reach your arms back. So diagonal line from the crown of your head all the way into your back left heel. Keep bending generously into that front knee. Easy twist, left hand to the floor, right arm up. And you might choose to stay here or you transition Vashisthasana into your side plank pose. Any variation of this pose that you'd like. Try to find some lift. And now look down to the floor, plank pose, and just step your right foot to the outer edge of your right hand. So in that gecko stance, back knee can come down to the floor. You can go ahead and curl your right toes up, roll to the outer edge of that right foot, and maybe come down onto your forearms. We'll take a good 5 deep breaths right here. And lift back up onto your hands. Get those right toes pointing forward. tuck the back toes under, three-legged dog from here. Right leg reaches all the way up and back. So we're gonna try to get our right foot to touch our right pinky finger without bending our knees. So come all the way forward, slowly into plank. See if you can open your right leg out to the side, and then see if you can just tap it down and then lift it all the way back up, three-legged dog. I know this is tough, we're doing it twice more. So you need to open the leg up, try not to bend your elbows, try not to bend your knees, try not to touch anything else other than your heel to your pinky finger. Lift it all the way back. Last one, right foot. Once it's there, ground that foot and take a wide variation of your pyramid pose. So the feet are a little bit wider than hip width distance apart and definitely further than we would have in a traditional Parsvottanasana fold. Try to square off your hips as much as possible. And let's bend into that front knee. Bring your hands to the insides of that leg again. Drop the back knee to the floor. We're gonna take that same Gecko pose, adding a quad stretch this time. So you can roll to the outer edge of your right foot, come down onto your forearms, and then right hand can reach to the back of your mat, grabbing a hold of your left foot and pulling it in towards the glutes. And release a hold of that foot. Right hand faces forward, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You're welcome to hang out where you are, or we take our flow. Inhale to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog, downward facing dog. And let's walk our feet forward to the top of the mat. We have that whole sequence to do on our other side. Take your ragdoll fold first so you can absolutely bend your knees here. It doesn't need to be super straight. And release your hands down to the floor. Roll up, Tadasana, mountain pose. Pushing into your heels and lifting up. So make sure your feet are hip width distance apart. Really ground into your left foot as much as you can. We're coming into our standing pigeon pose first. So that right knee is gonna float up, and then you cross your right ankle over the top of that knee and thigh. Start to bend into your supporting leg. Hips move back, chest leans forward, but with a flat back. Try not to round, roll your shoulders away from the floor. Get as low as you can here. Sink down a little deeper, keep your gaze steady. And let your inhale pull you back up. We find our high lunge, step the right foot all the way back. Open up and reach through your arms, and we'll add our side bend here. Right hand, or grab a hold of your right wrist with your left hand, and then reach your right arm up and over. Big side body stretch. And making your way back through to center, hands at your heart. We're not done yet. We're coming into our eagle pose. So stepping up, you're going to cross your right thigh over the left one, maybe looping the toes back. Right arm binds under the left arm. So both knees should be bent here, not just the top leg. Pull your belly button back. You're gonna feel your left glutes and your quads. You can do this, and as gracefully as possible, you find that high lunge again. Stepping the right toes back, great job. This time let's tilt forward, arms reach back, chest leans forward. Notice what's happening with your left knee. Keep it directly over that second and third toe. I know it burns. I feel it too. Easy twist, right hand down, left arm up, using this to transition into Vinyasa pose. Side plank, one leg over the other. And looking down, plank into Gecko. So step that left foot to the outer edge of your left hand. Right knee comes down to the floor. Curl the left toes up, roll to the outer edge of that thigh. It should feel really good. And then come on down onto those forearms. So this is our first variation of the pose. 5 slow, steady breaths to slow down your heart rate and to catch your breath. And we'll really work on our hip and on our obliques. Lift back up onto your palms. And we're gonna find our downward facing dog again. So step that left foot back. 3-legged dog, left leg rises, and you're gonna circle that hip. Try to touch your left toe, come forward, trying to tap it towards your left pinky, and lift it all the way back. Normal for one side to be a lot easier than the other. Do it twice more. Just tap and send it back. The next time you tap, you can let that foot stay where it lands for a wide pyramid pose. Fold it in. Letting go. Big stretch into your hamstrings. Let's bend into our front knee, lower your back knee to the mat. We're coming back to that Gecko, but adding your quad stretch. Roll to the outer edge of that left foot, come down on your forearms, and you might reach back with your right hand, pull it in. Try to keep your hips nice and low here. And very carefully release that back foot. And we'll take our flow, meet in down dog first, just to stretch it all out. And then Vinyasa, inhale plank to Chaturanga, to your upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Okay, and we are getting ready for our peak pose. So last flow, and then we'll be going into it. Reach your right leg up towards the sky, and as you exhale, tap your right knee to your right shoulder. Keep your hips nice and low here. Twice more like this. Inhale up, exhale, squeeze it in, so to the outer arm. Inhale, reach it back. Last one. Exhale to squeeze. Hold here. Bring your knee to the middle of your chest, and then step it forward into your high lunge. Come all the way up. And this time we're gonna circle our arms open, interlace your fingers behind your lower back. So you wanna squeeze your shoulder blades, lengthen out, and then dive on down. So you're kind of diving to the inside of that right leg. Stay low to the floor, reach your knuckles up and over. Now keep your upper body as it is, just bring your fingertips down to the mat and see if you can bring your right arm underneath your thigh. Once you're here in this lunge, open up your arms to the sides. Great job, I know this is hard. Believe me, it's hard for me too, especially talking. Okay, bring your palms to the mat. You're framing your front foot. Before we go into our arm balance, see if you're able to really get your shoulder under there, and then maybe start to straighten and reach through that right leg. Just hold it here. And similar to those toe taps we were doing, circle your leg all the way up and back. 3-legged dog. Downward facing dog. Okay, second side. Lengthen out. Take a cleansing breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, tap your left knee to your outer arm. Reach it up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, squeeze it in. Keep your hips low. This will help. Inhale, lift it up. Last one, squeeze it in. Bring that knee to the center and step it forward. Crescent lunge. So your feet should still be about hip-width distance apart. Open up your arms. Interlace the more unusual way. Other thumb on top and dive on down. You know where we're going with this. Reach your knuckles as high up as you can. If possible, don't lean on your thigh. If possible. Okay, release your hands. Bring your left arm and shoulder as much underneath your left thigh as possible and float your arms out, airplane. And ground and frame that front foot. We're gonna take that splits pose. See if you can squeeze and lift that left leg up. Doesn't need to be straight. You'll notice mine is not straight at all. And we're gonna try to float delicately that left leg up and back. Three-legged dog. Press it down. Okay, our full peak pose. Let's do this. You can always leave it out if you need to. Cleansing breath. Right leg stretches up to the sky. Ekapada, kundinyasana 2. Right knee to your right shoulder. Chaturanga, and you can make a little shelf here. Split the legs open as you balance. Try not to touch the floor. Downward facing dog. Great job. Right away into our second side. Left leg up. Left knee to left shoulder. Come on forward. Bend your elbows, straighten the legs, and lift. Downward dog. Whew. Child's pose, balasana. Letting it go. It might feel good to roll out your wrists here. Before we fully wind down from our practice, you have the option of coming into a headstand, into your inversion, either tripod or supported. I'm gonna do the supported variation. You can always do this, of course, up against your wall. If it's not part of your practice, please do leave it out. You might wanna do just waterfall pose or just stay in your child's pose if that feels good. However you want to get there. Not here for very long. And then you can come on out. And just sit on your heels. So if you were in child's pose, just lift your chest up. If you had your hands clasped like supported headstand, just flip the palms and lift them up. And just side bend a little here. And release. Let's bring our legs out in front of us. Right leg forward, left foot to the inside of your thigh. Inhale, arms rise. Fold forward, grab whatever you can as you fold on in here. Coming up, and we'll switch sides. Left leg forward, right foot in, arms up, inhale, exhale. You can absolutely bend a little bit through that left knee. And coming all the way back up. Scooch on forward before laying all the way back down. And now let's find cat pulling its tail, that same pose we did at the beginning of class. Hopefully now with all those hip openers and twists, you might be able to get a little further into it. So start with your right knee into your chest, left leg is straight, and then cross it over. Straighten your right leg and see if you can slide your left hand maybe further down than you did at the beginning of class. And you might stay here or add your quad stretch. Bend that left knee and reach for the foot with your right hand. Roll your right shoulder down. So it probably won't be a huge, massive difference, but you might find a little bit more spaciousness, a little bit more ease. It can be really nice to do the same poses at the beginning and at the end of class. Take 3 more full breaths right here. And bend into both knees. Let's find that same pose again. Reclined cow face pose. So your right thigh stacked over the left. Keep moving your feet away from one another. Relax head and shoulders. We're slowing things down in our practice here. And just move from here into reclined pigeon pose. So you can kind of just slide your right ankle so it's aligned to the top of your left thigh. And option 1 is to just pull the left knee in towards your belly. If you want to also get into your hamstrings, you can straighten your left leg as you pull it in. And release. Let's go to the other side. Cat pulling its tail. Right leg is straight. Left thigh moves in towards your belly. Cross it over into your twist and go ahead and straighten your left leg. Reach your left arm out. And then maybe you also bend and get your quad stretch. This one is always harder for me to do because I have my microphone in the way. But you're really trying to reach your left shoulder and your left hip away from one another. Reclined shoelace. Okay, and just slide so that your left ankle is aligned to your right knee for reclined pigeon pose, either holding on here or with that right leg straight. This is our last big stretch. See if you can get the length of your inhale to be just as long as your exhale. Maybe counting up to 6, 8, or even 10. And let's release this. Before we go to Savasana, it might feel good to widen your feet and take a little windshield wiper motion with your knees. Whenever you're ready, take your very well-deserved rest. Expanding out with your arms and your legs, closing your eyes. And no matter how challenging this class may have been, it might be easy to focus on all the things that could have been better, to pick ourselves apart, to pick the class apart, to pick me apart even. See if you can lovingly bring yourself back into a space of compassion and gratitude for all the hard work you've done, for this time you've set aside for yourself and your practice. There is really no end goal with yoga. The poses truly don't matter. It doesn't mean anything about you, whether you can do something or not. It's all about what we learn along the way. That's where that wonderful growth comes from. So let yourself relax in appreciation a little longer right here. Begin to breathe a little bit deeper. Move through your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms up overhead. And we'll roll to one side, lift on up, and come to take a seat. And you can draw your hands together at the front of your heart. Let's close with the chant of Om one time. Inhale to chant. Big breath in. Om. Bowing forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for doing this powerful practice with me. Please do leave me a comment below. Let me know how this one went for you and if you would like to see more of these kinds of classes on my channel. If you're not quite used to doing arm balances, you might be feeling this in your wrists. So this video right here is what I would recommend doing right now and also over the next few days to help stretch everything out and to also strengthen your wrists and forearms overall. Please subscribe to my channel and hopefully you'll practice again with me very soon. Namaste.